Hey, what's going on? This is Chris Stevenson. I'm the co-owner and the broker of Legendary Real Estate Services. We're based out of Lake Geneva, and I work in the Walworth County, Western Racine, and Western Kenosha County markets. And I wanted to make this video today. Today is Monday. It is August 9th, 2021. And the reason why is because I'm reading, hearing, and certainly feeling a lot of changes in the real estate market. And maybe you are too. So if you're thinking of buying or selling, this is an important video for you to watch because I think you're going to have an opportunity to see some data that might actually confirm what you're seeing in the market and or what other people are telling you or what you're seeing on the internet. All right. So let's dive in and take a look at some numbers that I look at on an ongoing basis that really help me know and understand what's going on in the market to confirm what I'm seeing on a daily basis. All right, here we go. The first thing that we're going to do, is we're going to actually go to a full screen. And I want to show you some information that actually comes from our multiple listing service. Now, our MLS is the Metro MLS out of Milwaukee. It is constituted, or it's constructed of many, many marketplaces in the state of Wisconsin. So we either talk about the general marketplace at the MLS data in total, or we talk about specifically Walworth County or even a more specific area. And in this case, in the first graph here, we're talking about specifically Walworth County. And the measuring stick we're using here is the absorption rate. Now, why is that important? Well, the absorption rate's important because that tells us how many months of inventory we have in the market. And as you've probably heard over the last year or two, we've hit record low amounts of inventory in the marketplace. But real estate is very localized. So we want to take a look at Walworth County, which we have here, and see what the trend is and if we have some confirmation of that trend. And here's what we see. Now, back actually in August of last year, we had 3.13 months of inventory, and we had a very, very robust fall and winter, which can happen, but is somewhat unusual at the levels that it was at. And as you can see, the months of inventory actually went down from 3.13 months of inventory all the way down to a low of 1.62, which is almost a 45% decrease. And then we have had numerous months confirming the uptrend that more and more inventory is coming on the market. Now, that being said, 2.5 or 2.55 months of inventory is well below the parity or the level of balance between buyer demand and sellers of typically 5 to 6 months. So we're at 2.55 months, still a very strong seller's market. But because it's starting to move and trend up, we are seeing some things day to day on street level, boots on the ground, things like more price reductions coming through, things like the days on the market increasing. And so we're starting to feel that the irrational COVID bubble of 2020, that of that bell curve cycle, we are at the bottom of it, and we are now moving into what would be considered a more normal seller's market. Still a strong market, but it's going to give buyers the opportunity to tip a toe back into the water, maybe have the opportunity to write an offer on the home that they really want. And you still got to look pretty quickly, and you still got to make decisions, but not so lightning fast that you may regret the decision that you're making if you feel like you had to move so quickly that you had some doubt about it, but did it anyway. All right. So absorption rate, has multiple months trending upward. We're seeing that trend continue. And here's something really interesting. This is the broader MLS, not just Walworth County. So what we're seeing continue here is we're seeing now, this is listings, this is inventory, active listings, how many are actually on the market at a data point of any given month. You can see that's been trending upward, but all of a sudden from June to July of 2021, we had a huge spike going from 3,000 all the way up to 4,680 listings. Now that's a huge incline. Well, if we have listings coming on the market and the inventory is building, then sales must be slowing. And indeed, you can see over the last 30 days from June through July that we actually did have less new listings coming on the market, and we had fewer sold listings. And it's not a huge amount of fewer solds, 3,376 versus 3,152. But when you add to that a decline in new listings, that is an offset with what's sold. So the inventory has the opportunity to continue accumulating. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing longer times on the market. We're seeing price reductions coming through. And so that data confirms exactly what we're feeling in the market. Maybe if you're buying or selling, exactly what you're seeing in your situation too. Interestingly enough, the sold days on the market in Walworth County specifically dropped precipitously in April through May. And it's still hovering around the same low days on the market, even a little bit lower for July. And typically what that means, if you're increasing inventory, is that you continue rotating through all of the very saleable product out there, and the things that may be overpriced are continuing to sit on the market longer and longer and longer. But the hot properties, the well-priced properties, the well-maintained properties are still turning over quite quickly, because as you can see, in April of this year, this dropped from 104 days on the market down to 40 and currently sits at 34.5. Okay. Now, another thing you're going to see is you're going to see prices, and these are median prices. So that's the statistical center. This is Walworth County, and you can take a look, and the statistical center has dropped from 308 in March down to currently 289. The new listing median is 260, and the sold median is 275. So this is pretty much identical, slightly down and slightly down. So again, some good news for buyers. For sellers, we're not seeing a softening in price. What it probably means is that people are getting more realistic about what they price it to begin with, instead of kind of going COVID pie in the sky on this stuff. Sales to original list price, you can see once that peaked in May of this year at 101.3%, it dropped to 100.5, and then it dropped again to 99.7. And we are seeing sales come through now, not all at list price or over list price, but we are seeing some negotiating taking place. And of course, that's going to happen when you have listings in a market where you start getting price reductions through as well. So just be aware all these things are going on at the same time. And volume, we're not going to talk about volume, because frankly, in our marketplace, we have such high-end property and low to median end property that the numbers get skewed when we talk about volume. But the point I want to make here is really, really critical is, if you're seeing it, if you're feeling it, if you're a buyer that's waiting on the sidelines, it's real, it's happening. So you might want to get off the sidelines. You might want to tip your toe back in the water, because we have a more realistic market now, and you may actually get the property that you're looking for. Although we're still dramatically short of inventory, the irrational aspect of last year's market seems to have really dissipated quite a bit. And that's going to be a help not only to the buyers, but to the sellers as well, in simply the fact that your property is still going to stand out, but you're probably over time going to get more showings if it's priced right, than have everything surge on you in 1 or 2 days and then have 4, 5, 6, 7 offers to choose through. That's not a fun process. That's not fun for the buyer. That's not fun for the seller. And it's pretty stressful for the real estate agent too. So a little bit more normalizing taking place. In the future, we're going to make some videos about the future of real estate, some of the demographic changes that are going on, and what that means to home buyers and home sellers moving forward over the next 3, 5, and 10 years. That'll be some great information. I hope this helped understand where things are right now. If you got some value out of this, please like our channel. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in another video where we talk about where we think real estate's going in the future in Walworth, Western Racine, and Western Kenosha counties. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you.